Hi, welcome to X3, One Topic, Three Pundits, myself included. I'm John C. Dvorak. I'm here with Andrew Eisner and Joseph Engo, and we're going to discuss a little bit about this interesting story on ABCnews.com's headlined "Moms Are Too Realistic in Mars Needs Moms," which was, by the way, one of the biggest flops in recent movie history.
It's so far the lowest opening for any 3D movie.
Yeah. Well, this may be part of the reason. Let me just quote here. Most recently, moviegoers complained about a near-realistic depiction of humans in Disney's 3D flick Mars Needs Moms, a theory called the uncanny valley, and I think there's another term for this. Says we tend to feel attracted to inanimate objects with human traits the way a teddy bear or a rag doll seems cute, Nemo. Our affection grows as an object looks more human, but if it looks too human, we get creeped out.
Yeah.
Well, those little micro expressions, it's very difficult to express in animation. One of the big complaints that, even some of the kids that were watching it were saying that it looks like the characters had Botox because their foreheads and their eyes don't have those little micro expressions.
And this is going to be a bigger problem going forward as, you get more powerful graphics engines, like some of these new games that are coming out are just super realistic. So are they
But in the game world, it's a little bit more acceptable.
In the game world, you want creepy.
Yeah, no, but in the game world, that's okay. Like, especially you have, robotic characters and stuff like that. That's totally acceptable. But in the game world, people kind of, they expect that little bit of animation, just stiffness. But when trying to enjoy a movie, you're trying to put yourself in that film, and it's very difficult.
There's actually there's a couple of examples of this out there where somebody, a Photoshop superstar, has gone in and done a picture from scratch of a beautiful woman. There's been a couple of these, and it looks you could look at this until you're blue in the face, and you will never see that this is not a complete creation. It looks like a person from everything, everything just looks, and it's not.
It's okay, but when you're talking about video,
it's the movement part that seems to start to creep you out because they just don't quite move right, and it's something about it that I don't know makes them insect-like. You think? I mean, what is it specifically? And if you get over that, is it possible to hurdle that and all of a sudden have the same effect you have with a photograph, which is looks like a real person to me? Is that going to happen?
Well, yeah, it'll definitely happen in time. We just don't have the computing power for it right now to compute all those just tiny little micro things that you just don't even notice on a daily basis, but your eye actually perceives it. Once we get to that state, I think that we can create some really ridiculously realistic things that won't be as creepy.
And then actors are out.
That's right.
Well, no, you're still going to need actors because
reform the porn industry too. I'm surprised you didn't bring up the porn.
That is a good point. Well, there is actually a whole section of porn, just using animated characters, and they're pretty frightening. I'll tell you that much. Okay. But no, you still need actors for these things.
No, I don't think so. What about having a synthesized voice?
Because even though these are all animated characters, well, yeah, you need the voiceover.
What if you have what if you get to the point where you have a perfect character that's just exactly like a person, you wouldn't know the difference, and a voice that was perfect instead of these robots?
Because there's still a physical person behind it. So, for example, when Johnny Depp did that new movie, was it Rango or whatever? They showed it behind the scenes with him actually performing all those dance moves and whatnot. What they do is they put these little sensors all over.
I know how you do it. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Now the question is, can you bypass what we're saying here? Is the simple question. Can you eventually, not tomorrow, bypass all this because you've got enough data in the machine, you've already had guys running around, you don't need to keep doing it, and you have an exact simulation of somebody that's absolutely perfect and it's not creepy, and then you have the voice, which is, I think, going to be harder because they always sound like a robot, but you get to the voice and you have a complete fake world with fake people and you don't have to pay them anything. That's what the goal is.
They've also already done it with Terminator Salvation. Arnold Schwarzenegger appeared in the movie, but he was never even actually in the movie. They took faces from him in Terminator 1 and just applied it to a completely different body, and the audience couldn't tell the difference that it was completely CGI.
Well,
Tron Legacy did the exact same thing. So one of the main characters, he acted out everything, in his, older self, and then they took all that. They had these 4 cameras set up around his face to record all the different positions, and then they took his face, put into a computer world, and then now they had a much younger version of himself, completely animated. So I mean, we're pretty close to it at this point, but you're still going to need a physical person to.
I think you can. Believe me, they're going to get rid of the physical person. That's the way they operate. They hate us, whoever they are. You've been watching X3.